Hey guys, welcome back to Archie Racing. So today we're going to be taking a look at the suspension of the Subie. We got some brand new coilovers. Okay, and these things are chunky. Compared to the old ones, we have just some Maxspeedingrods coilovers in there right now. These are going to be at least a good step up from those. They're Raceland coilovers. They got dampening, all adjustment everywhere, and yeah. Without further ado, let's get these in there and see what they're like. So one of the major differences between these Raceland coilovers and my Maxspeedingrod coilovers I have right now is the build quality is just blows me out of the water compared to what those are there. The threads on them are very chunky, so the adjustment's going to be able to hold a little bit better. It's not these little tiny machine screw threads on there, and it also has the dampening set up on top. Now, the ones I have also have dampening. You don't have as much adjustment with them, unfortunately, but these should have the amount of adjustment that I'm looking for. Another big step up is these. I'll be able to set the dampening in my rear coilovers without having to take my rear seats out like I'm having to do right now.
These are the old Maxspeedingrods coilovers. Now you can see the amount of corrosion that's built up, and that's just after about a year. These are just really bad. This isn't even because of snow and salt, this is just normal. But these will be coming out here momentarily. As you can see with these Maxspeedingrods, the fit and finish is definitely not good. Paint's just flaking off. What that does is that introduces moisture, which makes it rust, which gives you corrosion, which is not good in anything. If you notice, these threads are really fine compared to these. These are actually nice. So these, again, corroded up pretty bad to the point where you couldn't even adjust your spring anymore, which is, needless to say, not good. The top hats were an issue. They were adjustable on the top hats, however, it's not adjustable when it's all corroded and you have massive problems in there. With this new one, as you can see, just the build quality is a lot nicer. And hopefully it will work out a lot better.
Alright, so after taking off your wheel and tire, you're going to go for your camber bolts. These are going to be 2 bolts that go into your strut here. Now to take care of these tophats here. And there's that for you guys, that oily, greasy, clunky mess. But out with that, in with this.
Well, show them what the reason why that we had to change this in the first place. How the spring's all bouncy and it's all locked in there.
So the original reason why we were switching these out here was because of how clunky they were. Unfortunately, our collars ended up getting seized here, and it ended up getting seized at the bottom as well. And I couldn't adjust the spring. The spring has a whole bunch of play in it. It ended up shredding that little gasket that's supposed to dampen down the sound and everything. And I just couldn't get enough adjustment out of it to get my tires even back to 0. So out with that and in with some Raceland Coilovers, and we've already gotten the other side finished up, and I can't wait to show you guys. It looks awesome.
Everybody be quiet. Little baby Strut's sleeping. Isn't he cute, little baby Strut? In his little baby bed.
Alright, so one of the good things we have going for us right now is that our old coilovers were already set to a different ride height other than stock. So, I don't want to lower it much more than it already was. We had a good thing going for us there. So, we're just going to adjust the new coilovers to about what we have here. My wheel well is about 32 inches off the ground with the Maxspeedingrods shocks here. So let's adjust these struts to match.
So what you doing?
Finding out that my CV joint on my rear axle is shot.
Oh, that sucks.
That's a big poopy. So, yeah, that's it for the end of RH2 Racing. We're just going to trash the car. Y'all have a great day. Like, subscribe, and yeah, that's it. We're done. CV joint. That's it, man. Here we go. Which is kind of unfortunate. Kind of foreseen.
Yeah, you need new axles.
Yeah.
No biggie.
Not really.
It's not the end of the world, that's for sure.
Swap those bad boys out. And then after we get these going here. Yep. We got the camber bolt loose in there. Now I'm just moving on to the load camber bolt, which isn't even really a camber bolt. It's just a straight bolt.
Let me show you inside here. Took both top and bottom seats out to make it a little easier, but there are 3 bolts back here that you need to take out that I already have. There's one right there. There's 1 and 2. Should be able to see those pretty good. And that's why adjusting these top hats back here is kind of a pain. That's why when we'll put those little remote adjusters in there, it's going to make life a lot easier because we don't have to dig for these things to be able to adjust them. Alright, we had a little trouble getting the strut out on this side. Not that that's really that big of a deal, but sometimes when this whole suspension arm gets under load, it'll bind up the bolts that go in here and here. So what you have to do is you actually have to, it's helpful with 2 people unless you have a jack or something, kind of move this around a little bit until you're out of the bind, and then you can get your bolt out. But we got the old one out, old nasty crusty there, and we're going to be putting in the new one here momentarily. So it's been about 3 weeks now since we put in these Raceland Coilovers. I took them to the track up in Pit Race, and I've been just daily driving it to and from work and, you know, to the store and everything. And they seem to be working great. You know, we're only about a month in though, so we'll see, but I believe that these will actually last me a good long while here. The dampening setup is absolutely fantastic. I have much more control over how much squish I have with my shock now. And, you know, honestly, it makes a lot of difference. Compared to those Maxspeedingrods ones I had, the ride and build quality alone is just night and day different. So the whole install took about 3 hours there. You know, honestly, we could have done it quicker if we were trying to time ourselves, but it went pretty flawlessly for what we had. Didn't have to modify anything this time, no making any custom top hats or anything for the Raceland Coilovers. But yeah, everything went pretty smoothly. But one of the
best features that I have with these coilovers is found in the back here. If you remember, I was talking about this earlier, but these little cords here, they're in here. Yay, they're in here. So, the reason why those are so important, normally I would have to pull out my rear seats and then, you know, go down there and adjust my dampening and everything with those old ones, which I actually had to do with an Allen key. With these, I just have to reach back here, find it, because it falls back there sometimes a little deep, and then I can set it right with that. It's just a little adjustment knob, and then it just drops right back behind the seat again. No issues at all. Alright guys, so I believe that's it for today's video on the Raceland Coilovers and the Subie. We got them in, we're going to go get some rolling footage for you, put it to some music, and I hope you guys enjoy. Remember to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you guys.